guys, Suman here and welcome to another video. And now today I'm gonna show a small demonstration about how to perform a DoS attack, which is denial of service attack. So this is a very basic and a commonly known way of exploiting a website or a mission. So what we are actually going to do is we are going to take down a device by rushing its maximum limit. So I'll just tell you a small example on how to do it, like how it works. So let's take I have a server and and I have hosted a website in this server. So this is the website hosted in this server, and now I have my mobile, I have my computer, and I am accessing this website from my mobile and the computer. So what happens is usually I will go to this. Let's take the URL as 172.17 or something, and I'm gonna access this IP address 172 dot 17 or something, or it can be anything. It can be any IP address. So I'm accessing the 172.17 website from my mobile and PC. So what happens? I'll go to this URL. The website will be there, which is something dot php or something dot html. So that will be visible in my mobile and my computer. So this is how it actually works. So now every server has its own limit, which is every hardware has a limit uh, that cannot be exceeded. For example, let's take this server has a capacity of handling 100 requests at a time or 100 people at a time. So which means this server is capable of handling only 100 requests at a time, which means I have two devices. Similarly, I can handle 100 devices at a time. And if the count goes beyond 100, the server may not be able to respond properly to my request if my request is 101 or 102. So we have 100 devices in this group, and all 100 devices are accessing this server. So now when I try to use a 101 or 102 machine, and if I try to access this website, that will not be reachable unless this requests are processed. So this is how it works. So because the server is a hardware, and obviously it has some limitation of handling. So 100 is just of example, but it differs from server to server. The limit depends upon the hardware specifications, network feasibility, firewall, the many things behind it, but I'm just giving you a small example just for understanding. So now what happens is I'm going to send more than 100 requests to this server to intentionally take this server down. So what happens is I know the limit is 100 people can occupy, or 100 people can get a response from the server at a time. When I try to use 200 missions or 300 missions, what happens? The server will be crowded and will not be able to respond properly. So that is what we are trying to do. So let's take an example. This is my Kali Linux, and this is my primary OS. It's a Windows 10, and I have a Kali Linux next to me. So this is a small website that is hosted. So 192.168.0.7 colon 8081 is a it's a port number. 8081 is a port, and this is the IP address where I have hosted this website. Okay. So this is the website that is hosted. So I'll show you my IP address. It is 192.168.0.7. This is my IP address. I'll refresh it. It works absolutely fine. So now I'm gonna use the same in my Kali Linux, 192.168.0.7, and colon 8081 is a port number. I'm refreshing. I'm getting redirected to this website. So I'll do it again. I can refresh. I can access. I can access. So now what I'm going to do is there is something called hping3. So this is the tool, and you have complete information about this in Kali Linux portal. I'll add this link in the description. You can check that out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna artificially create a traffic to this website. So let's clear the text, and yep. So this is the tool, which is hping3. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to flood this IP address with a packet from my Kali Linux. So basically what happens, this is a sync request. Okay, there is something called ICMP request or the ping, and there is something called sync, and there is another thing called get method flooding. There are many way of flooding, but comparatively ICMP or the ping request can be blocked at firewall level easily, and this kind of sync request can also be blocked by firewall, but not all the places. And when it comes to get method, it will be even more effective. We will talk about that later on, probably in the next video. And if you people support this video, if you like, share and subscribe, I'll be giving you a lot of scripts, and I can show you a demonstration on how to exploit a live server which is really safe. So that is a bit hard, and it is not that easy, but still we have options to do that. Just for educational purpose, I can tell you how it works. Well, now let's see how the sync request works. So actually, what is sync request? So I'll tell you what is the sync request. So now we understood how the server respond to the, how the server respond to its maximum limit. So we understand how it works and how we are going to exploit it. So what is sync request? So basically, I have a server and I have a mission. So which is my laptop or desktop something. So now I'm going to send a request to access this website, which is called sync request, which means I know you have a website and I want to see your website. So let me in. This is the request I am sending from my machine to the server where it is the application is hosted or the website is hosted. So now if the server find my request is genuine, it will send me a sync acknowledgement. Okay, it just sync acknowledgement will be sent, then the communication will happen, which means I'll be allowed to access the website. So this is how it works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to wait for acknowledgement or confirmation. I'm just going to keep sending the sync request, which means not just one or not just two or not just three. I'm gonna send a lot. Trust me, this amount of request will surely take the server down, or at least take it, move it to the hung state, as the server will not be capable of replying to the sync request. So this is what I'm going to do. So instead of doing it manually, if I have to do it manually, I have to set up a like I have to send, let's take the limit is 100, then I have to send a more than 100 sync request at a time. So if the count is more than 100, the things will be in queue. It will be piled up in a queue. So all the requests will go to the server. It will be piled up in queue until the first set of requests process, then the next goes, then the next goes. So if I keep piling up all these things, at a point of time, the server will goes unresponsive to respond all the requests. So this is how this actually works. This DoS method or denial of service actually works. So this is the process. So I'm going to this can be done from one single machine. If your server is very old one and the hardware specification is very old, and if it doesn't have enough memory, and if it doesn't have enough CPU counts or the core count, and it doesn't have much clock speed or performance or whatever it is, like depends upon the hardware, you can do it from one single machine, or you can do it with a bunch of bots. Bots means like it's a virtual computers. You can imagine as a virtual computer you will be running, or it can be even a physical computer. You'll be running the same script from all the 100 or 10 or 15 computers, whatever you have. Depends upon the server capacity. You may need to increase your bots to make sure you take the server down. So this is how it actually works. So now I'm going to do that. So now let's see, this is the website I have. I'm refreshing it again just to show you it works fine. So this is hosted on the same machine. I'm using the Kali Linux and Windows 10 on a same computer, and I don't have any firewall, number one, which means I don't have any complex firewall that could block this request, number one. And number two, my router what I have used in my home is very entry level, or you can say it is not that much efficient to be used as a internet facing router, because the crowd it can handle is very less. So it will not be able to handle everything. Even my computer hardware, it is a decent hardware, but not that great for a server configuration. So I have a script here, so I'm going to use the tool called hping3. So hping3, I'll show you. This is a bit advanced way of doing the DoS attack. So I'm gonna run this tool with some parameters. I'm just passing few parameters here. So let's take -s, and it should be in a capital S. So -s means the sync, which means I'm gonna do a sync flooding, and -d for data, which is the payload, and it will be 500. It can be anything. Higher the payload will instantly take the server down. So for that, I'm just setting as a 500, and let's take it as -flood. It's again a parameter, and I'm gonna share the IP address that needs to be exploited. So first thing, you have to make sure the server is reachable from your machine to do this. So now I'll refresh it one more time just to show you the website works fine. Refreshing, it is working absolutely fine. So now again, I'll go to the resource monitor. You can see it is TCP connection. You can see it is 0 to 100 and it is very minimum. Okay, now I'm gonna run the script or the tool. So I have set the IP address and I have run the script. So now here I have filtered the HTTPD traffic just to show you the difference. So now I'll refresh the page. See, it doesn't respond. It is taking some time. It is not responding properly. It should work fine here, but it will not work there. So if you see, the page is not working properly. Let's see if we can find any hit in the resource monitor. The network. So if you see, the orange means it is the HTTP request. So it keeps spiking at times. So it was very minimum and it keeps on spiking now. So I cannot access the website. Unless I stop it, I'll not be able to access the website. So I'm refreshing it again. I'll again open it in a new tab. See, I'm trying to access it, but it is not working. So well, this will not be the case always, because your computer hardware may not be sufficient enough to take down any virtual or any physical server that is hosted. So if you see, it took so much time. Literally took so much time, because I have break that here. I have break it, and now it works fine. So now I break it. So we got the website back. I'll run this again. Okay, I'll refresh it. It won't work until I'll refresh it again. It won't work unless I break it. So now it keeps loading. I'm gonna break it. Now if I refresh, it will work. Okay, it will work. So here you can see the utilization. It went all the way high and then again it came down. So this is the so I'll do it again just to show you. I'm running the flooding. I'm flooding it again, and I'm refreshing the page. It won't work. And here you should be able to see the traffic in orange, which means the network utilization went all the way high, and it was not responding. I'll break it, and yep, it works fine now. So again, you can see some spikes here. So this is actually the flooding. So what I'm doing is I'm just this is a Windows 10 machine where I have hosted my Apache, and have installed XAMPP, and this is the web page I have hosted, and this is my IP address 6.168.0.7. So yeah, so I can access the web page now, but when I run the script, it wasn't accessible. So this is very simple as what I said. So my server has a threshold limit, and this is 100, and if I send 500 requests at a time, I'm just telling you an example, all the 500 will be in queue unless the first 100 gets completed. So if the first 100 doesn't get completed properly, everything will be piled up in a queue and my server will not be able to respond to it. So I'm keep on sending, I'm not stopping it at 500. If I stop at 500, the first 100 will be done, then the next 100 will be done, and all the requests will be done in certain amount of time. But what I'm doing is I'm keep flooding with 500 requests at a time. It keeps going on, so the server will be down, or it will not be able to respond to your request. So this is all about denial of service attack. So now you can ask me, like, what if I do it for google.com, will it work? Or what if I do this for amazon.com or flipkart.com or anything, will it work? Well, the frank or obvious answer for your question is a big no. Why? Because you shown me you have taken your server down, but why can't you do it for google.com? It's very simple. Google.com have a very good firewall. So let's take, this is a firewall and this is the Google server, and this is your computer. So if we try to do anything that is mischievous like this, the request will be sent through the firewall. Let's take port 443, and the traffic goes through this, and the firewall will simply find your packet, whether it is genuine, or if it seems to be or it can be a firewall, or it can be any IDS or IPS devices that is in the infra. So it can simply just see your traffic. It will see whether your traffic or your packet is a genuine packet or a scripted packet or something that have a harmful thing in it. And if it is a ICMP ping, obviously it will say, why do you want to know whether the server is up or down with so much rush? You want to know the server is up or down just by ping, that is okay. But why do you want to do it with so much payload? And why do you want to send so many requests at a time? So your firewall will think, okay, this seems to be a harmful one, and it will just block that traffic, and it won't go beyond the firewall to the server. And if I try if I'm a genuine user and I try to access Google from my mobile, then it will go to the same firewall. It will find my packet, it is okay, it is a genuine packet, it doesn't have any the source IP seems to be genuine, it doesn't have any harm, and it is a normal request, then it will let me inside the google.com. So that is why we need a firewall. So now you can ask me, then what is the use of learning this? Well, this is all about the basics, how the denial of service works, but there is a way we can even cheat this firewall and send the packets beyond Google. Well, it may not work at Google, but it will work on many websites, trust me. But to know that, I have some script that will send a instead of sync request flooding, we can do it as a get method flooding. There are many other options available which will make the firewall to think that it's a genuine request and let us in, and we can get our hands dirty. So to know that, I just need your support. Just do like, share and subscribe this video, and if I get good response for this video, trust me, next video will be on the get flooding method. So if you support me, I'll give you more videos. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe for more videos. Bye bye.
Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe for more videos.